Hi, Ruth Fellows, nutritionist and herbalist, and today let's talk about sleep. Are you feeling like a zombie at the moment? Are you sleep deprived? Because guess what? Your little people in the house are not sleeping. This is a really big problem today, so I'm not really surprised if it's going on in your family. It's quite widespread. So if it's going on, you've probably already asked your friendly Dr. Google what on earth you can do about it, and probably come across some really great ideas as well. But you're disappointed because not one of them have worked. You've done the whole sleep routine, stay calm, maybe even have your glass of milk before bed, warm bath, all that kind of thing is happening with your child, and still no sleep is happening. Either they're not getting to sleep because they're hardwired and they're jumping around, or they're not staying asleep. So you have these little visitors coming in the night for a cuddle and you're not getting any sleep still when that happens. So the reason why you're not getting results is because guess what? There is something that's not being widely spoken about enough, is you need to look at what is coming into the diet, what your child is eating, that is affecting how they sleep. So the really big factor for poor sleep in children, and also in adults by the way, is going to be food intolerances. Firstly, check what might be happening with the artificial additives and preservatives in the foods that you're buying. The biggest one of the additives or preservatives, this one's an additive, is going to be MSG and the flavour enhancers. So these flavour enhancers are all the 600 series of numbers. They are in a lot of packaged foods, particularly are going to be in your savoury tasting foods. Check for those numbers because they are highly irritating to the brain, and they will keep your brain very active and awake and alert. You'll also have the same problem with things like Vegemite, because Vegemite is naturally high in MSG. It's just the way yeast extract is, and that can also do the same thing to a brain, keep it overstimulated and awake. The other additive you need to watch out for is 102, which is yellow colour tartrazine. Extremely stimulating also to the nerve endings in the brain, so the poor brain can't switch off and relax. You're going to find this in all your cheese flavoured cracks and snacks and biscuits, so watch out for that with your kids. The other thing with food intolerances is it may not be to the chemicals and the artificial additives in the foods that you buy, but there may also be intolerances to natural foods. So we're talking about things like gluten and dairy, and maybe taking it even further, there may be some other natural foods that don't suit your child, and because it's irritating them, they can't get to sleep. Secondly, you need to check that maybe there are some nutrient deficiencies going on. The key ones that are really important for sleep are zinc and iron, but also especially magnesium and sometimes the B vitamins. All of these nutrients need to be in good amounts in the body and the brain so that the brain is able to do what it's meant to do at the end of the day, switch off and go to sleep. Now, you may think that the reason why the nutrient deficiencies are there is because your child is a fussy eater and not eating much. That could certainly be the case. But sometimes you think, no, yeah, they have a healthy diet, they should be fine with all those nutrients. That shouldn't be the reason for it. Well, it actually still can be, because sometimes a person is not actually digesting and absorbing all those nutrients from their food, so they're not getting all the good bits out of it well enough. And we're all individuals. Some people just need more of these nutrients in their system for their system to function well. So they're probably the biggest areas I find. You're probably wondering about sugar. Is it possible that too much sugar in my child's diet is keeping them awake at night? Yes, absolutely, but I haven't picked on that one as one of the two main reasons, because you need to deal with those two reasons first before you tackle the sugar problem. Generally, when you tackle those two areas first, such as food intolerances and nutrient deficiencies, you do naturally cut back on the sugar. So that's a little bonus of tackling those two steps. But also, sugar may not be the problem. Children do burn up their sugar quite quickly, so it won't necessarily be keeping them awake. But at the same time, yes, if your child is snacking on lots of sugary foods, particularly in the afternoon, and doesn't eat dinner but eats lots of dessert, it certainly could be a factor in why they can't sleep. If you'd like to find out more, that is, on this rather perplexing problem that we're all facing at some time in our lives as parents, you can read more about it here. Otherwise, time to come and see me for some help.